Gopala, 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 Gopala. Gopala, 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 Gopala. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Gopala, Gopala, Gopala. He Gopala, 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 Gopala. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari. He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. He Nata Vasudeva. Gopal, 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 Gopal.
Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, I think it's 33. That Krishna says that anything is separate from me, know that to be there was a story that you have to be very careful what you ask for because you may get it. There was a story that that one of Radha Maharaj's disciples named Stola Krishna from Bombay, he went to Varshan and goes, I'll never get serious unless I have some calamity. He went back to Bombay and he had cancer. And he ended up leaving his body. He had a small child. And his parents were from a good family. They took care of his family, his wife and kids and like that. But he ended up having cancer, so you have to be very careful. And some other disciples that write with Maharaj, she actually said that it was actually Krishna's arrangement. She was actually thanking Krishna for her cancer because I would never have given up anything. I would have never had spiritual master and now associated with devotees. Yeah. So it was funny that I have a salad recipe, and the wife of the Mahanta in Dubai, Shivananda, and then his wife, Sridhar Devi, she goes, I put 3 Tamil ladies on your salad recipe. They couldn't make head or tails of it. Because there's a devotee from Kerala that makes my salads for me. She was gone with her kids, on vacation time to Vrindavan. So, and somebody else was doing it. She says, they couldn't make heads or tails of it. I said, they need a health crisis. When you get a health crisis, they're no fast. Your food, 50% of your food should be fruits. Salads. What is Dharma? Is it Dharma prescribed duty the same or different? Dharma is religious occupation of duty. Religious occupation of duty. That which is in relation to Krishna. Dharma is something that... Dharma is religious occupation of duty. Is Dharma and prescribed duty the same or different? Dharma ni sakshat bhagavat pranittam. Religious principles are enunciated by God. Is it the same or different? Any devotee, any service that a devotee does, that he offers to Krishna, is Dharma. And anything that appears to be separate from Krishna is illusory energy. So basically that's that, We should offer everything to Krishna, and like that. Srimati Tulsi Devi's appearance from the ocean of milk, similar to the Lord's appearance in the material world. Yeah, the Lord appears in the material world, is transcendentally situated. And he brings with him his Dhamma. So wherever she is, she's Vrindavani. And wherever it is, she makes that Vrindavan. And devotees lament that I don't have enough money to go to the Dhammas. In the Mule Sarvatirtani, wherever her roots are, all the holy places to take shelter. And I always thought that is amazing, If some ordinary stupid potting soil, you put it around the roots and all the holy places take shelter. Wow. Different, Ordinary stupid potting dirt, And you put it around the roots and then all the holy places take shelter. It's interesting stuff. appearance, the ocean of milk is similar to the Lord's appearance. He's transcendental and she's transcendental. Krishna's transcendental and she's transcendental. And wherever they appear is good. It's meant in the spiritual world. Is it the parents just appear? Yeah, they, Anadi, since time immemorial. They've always been manifested there. Why Radharani is not putting tilak? I'm sorry, it's the wrong question. Basically, it depends on the artist. You see, sometimes you have pictures of Radha Krishna with tilak, and then they don't. It depends on the artist who's painting the picture, like that. That's all. Do we need to feel bad when Tulsi Devi plant dies? I'm scared to buy another one. There was a girl in Lithuania, it's like 10 below zero, in the winter festival, Baltic Winter Festival. She says, I had a Tulsi, but Tulsi died, so I'm scared now. I said, come on, mother. Suppose a young girl has a miscarriage. She's embarrassed. She'll never get pregnant again. Or a husband loses a job in the job market. He's embarrassed. He'll never get a job again. Come on, what did you do wrong? Go forward, It's the same thing with Tulsi Seva. You did something, what did she leave for? We did something stupid. That's why. Simply fix it and go forward, Like that. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You do service. You continue. You take shelter and you continue. In doubts, is it okay to ask Krishna for answers? Yeah. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 verse 10 in the purport, Krishna promises that all dispel with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So in the purport, Prabhupada was saying there, it's actually 10:10 Gita in the purport, that sometimes a devotee doesn't have time to read the books or hear from the spiritual master, but if they're sincere, then Krishna within the heart will tell them the answer. Krishna will not allow ignorance to remain with the devotees. So you do have a right to ask Krishna. Now, if Krishna will speak or not, that's another thing. You have a right. It's okay to ask Krishna for answers, but he may not answer. Now, how do we experience? There's a beautiful verse, 3:9:11. The best translation is Adi Lila chapter 3, verse 111. Tom Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Saroja Asesha Tekshata Pata Nunanata Pungsam Yada Yada Diyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tat Tat Vibhu Pranayase Sadanubrahaya. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita translation is better than the Bhagavatam. The purport is better in the Bhagavatam than the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Matsyavatar, the principal of the Sanskrit school in Braj, shine up. Where's the chakra? Okay. Here's that. So Matsyavatar told me that was very interesting. that Sridhar Swami's commentary says that Krishna knows what relationship you hanker with him, and he tries to help you get what you want. That is interesting. The next thing is Krishna is manifest in Shravanam and Kirtanam. That very same Pramanam, Bhagavad Gita, slokas like that the devotee needs. The Supreme Lord manifests exactly that. That's the first perception of the devotees. Joy. That the devotees have got shelter with Krishna. Krishna is Pramanam. The next one is Krishna manifest himself as your authority, because he wants to be efficient. So who are you going to listen to? Krishna manifests as your authority. And the third thing is sometimes in Duswapna, the only thing is Krishna, so he'll come the deity form like that to break your Duswapna. So that's described there in the commentary. 3:9:11. Why we shouldn't eat onion and garlic. So typically they're vegetables. Very interesting. I had this question when I was a young boy. I was 10th standard, high school. I was wondering why the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, they don't take onion and garlic. So my science teacher, he said that the onion plant doesn't have a proper excretory system. So that tangy taste you like is the stool of the onion plant. Then Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 8. Yada yam yam gatharasyam puti pariyushatamachayat uchistamapi cha medyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Things that are in the mode of ignorance. Disgusting, rotten, consisting of the remnants of others, are liked by those in the mode of ignorance. So I showed him the shloka, and he bought it. Well, that's really for I took a Bhagavad Gita, I sold it to all my teachers. How much? $5. Even the principal of the school. He heard that I was, and he called me. I was a 3.5 average. I was on the honor roll. You're giving up the school. He says, you have good oratory skills. If you're celibate, you might be able to work it out. But if you become a household, oh God. He goes, I wish you best of luck. How much is that book? $5, I'm not quitting school to go out and pump petrol, I'm going for Dharma. I'm going to teach Bhagavad Dharma, like that. Well, you have good oratorial skills. If you're celibate, you'll be able to make it. But if you get married, oh man, for your infrastructure. How much is that book? Even the principal of the school got a Bhagavad Gita. There's two stories. That Mohini Murti, she saw Rahu fingered by Surya and Chandra, and she used her Sudarshan chakra to cut his neck. And the blood that came from Rahu's neck hit the ground. And that was onion and garlic. It's manifest from that. That's one pramanam. The other one was, there was one sage. He was doing a Gomeda yajna, rejuvenating an old cow to a new one. And his wife wanted to taste some of that flesh. So she stashed it. And he caught her. And from the rat flesh, came onion, and the white flesh came garlic. There's interesting stuff. Now, sometimes devotees take garlic tablets for some infection, but because it's mixed with the blood of Rahu, because it's mixed with the nectar, it's got some, ability to destroy diseases. But because it's mixed with the blood of Rahu, it gives tamasic vritti. So, you can take it for a very short time. You have to know. There's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It gives attachment to tamasic vritti. Like that. So. It is always said a person is suffering because of his past bad deeds. But if he is good and suffering really bad his present birth and is spiritually very strong and serving mankind, then why doesn't God recognize his good and forgive his past? As this will make him more strong in spiritual affairs. Krishna knows he does whatever he likes to bring devotees to his lotus feet. Sometimes he gives them all facility, and sometimes he takes away everything he's got. It just depends on the circumstances, and Krishna knows like that. Whatever will drive the devotee to his lotus feet. So sometimes Krishna gives everything, all material opulence to his devotees. Sometimes he takes away everything. It's described in 10th Canto, chapter 88. I think it's like 10, Shloka 10. Krishna tells Yudhishthira that when I favor somebody, I take away everything they got. And the person cries out to me, that's when I bestow my mercy to him. So there are two types of people. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, 40, in that section, 42 through 47. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhashta Bhajayate. They're taking birth in a Baniya's family, a rich merchant, or a devotee's family. And Krishna's taken away everything. Now compare the two. So, when Krishna takes away everything, the devotee in this body becomes stronger. That what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So that's an interesting thing. So the one that Krishna took everything away got more mercy than the person who had to take birth again in a Brahmin family or a scholar family or a Baniya family. Suchinam or Shrimatam. So when Krishna took away everything from the devotee, in that shloka, that's in this body, he got more mercy than the person who Krishna, he took birth and Krishna had to take away then, provide him scholarly body or Baniya's. Suchinam or Shrimatam. So, Krishna does so many things. So devotee prays to Krishna, you do whatever you like, but bring me to your lotus feet. So Krishna would do so many different things to bring the devotee to Krishna's lotus feet, whatever he likes. Is there anything like good or bad omen? Or is it just a state of the mind? There's Ashru, in Gautam Chandra Bhajanopadesh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sanskrit says, Ashubham Chasubham Chaja Sarvamidam is good or bad. Give it all up. Anukulataya priya sevanaya. What is favorable for Krishna, just do that. Vajagodru makanana kunjavidum. So the idea is if it's ashub, it's their stuff that goes on. Just like in Ayurveda and astrological calculations, you have Shanikal, Rahukal, Ketukal, in auspicious times. It's there. Sometimes it's within the same day, So you have some different sub-periods that are there. Have Shanikal, Ketukal. Ketu is unembodied. When Rahu's head was cut off, the body was unembodied. The body was... Ketu is indecision. Later the body was rejuvenated and used. It's called Ketu. And Shani is Saturn. Messes everybody up. This is why it is good when you worship Nrsingadev, you chant Sanaischara Krita Narasimhastuti. Prayers to Nrsingadev written by the Saturn planet. And that so in Shloka 11, Shani prays to Nrsingadev. Bhuta Jvara Graha Samudabhava Bedinasham. That if a devotee is taking shelter of Nrsingadev, Divya Rupa Parimardana Bhavashali Sanchintayan Sakala Agavinashakari. If a devotee worships Lord Nrsingadev, yet a Divya Rupa Parimardana Bhavashali, meditating on how Lord Nrsingadev is killing, transcendently killing Hiranyakasipu. Sanchintayan, thinking like that, Sakala Agavinashakari, you're destroying all bad traits, becoming completely purified. And Bhuta Dvara Graha Samudabhava Bedinasham. For a Bhutas, ghost, or other living entities, Dvara, fever, Graha, malefic planets, like Shani, Samudbhava, obstacles, Bedinasham, the fear of that become destroyed. So, this is written by the Saturn planet. So, and afterwards, when the Falashruta, Shloka 13 or so starts the Falashruta. So Lord Nrsingadev said, Pritoham Shani Tubhyam Varam Varaya Shobhanam. I'm very pleased with your offering, O Shani. Now please pray after something Sarva Loka Hitavaram, which is surely good for the people. Then Shani prayed, my dear Lord, if you're pleased with what I've offered you, then please bless whoever chants this will develop love for you and free of fear of me. Nrsingadev said Tathastu and said that anybody who chants a stotram on Shanivara, Saturday, or in Dvarishta Ashtanama, it's like 2.5 years of period of troubles, will become free of fear of you and will develop love for me. And the sages with joy. So Sanishtar Krita Narasimhastuti is pretty cool. I was just in Bali Island in Indonesia, and one devotee there told me, I know a lot of people that are flooded by Shani. What to do for them? And so my disciple said, I already translated that, Bhaza, and I put it on my website for people to take it, So I said, give him the link, and he can get it, And that's neat. And the best slogan for Nrsimha Chaturdashi is 5:18:9. Svastasta Vishvasya Kalaka Prasiditam. May the people have auspiciousness. Kalak Prasiditam, and may the envious become pacified. Jananti Bhutani Shibam Mithodaya. By thinking of devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Manascha Bhadram Bhajatara Doshajay. Everybody auspiciously engage in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aveshato Nakmatarat Vihayituki. May we always engage in this. So it's a kind of a good shloka for Prahlad Maharaj. It's very good shloka for Nrsimha Chaturdashi. And he was saying, sheesh, a lot of people were mentioning that svasti astu, in Bali. So here it is. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam. Svastastu vishvasya kalak prasidhatam. It's interesting. So it's a nice shloka. And there's a lot of people that are messed up by Shani. A lot. And the devotee that translated for me, a Gujarati Sanskrit Pandit, I told him, do a critical edition, because in the old days, pattas came down by hand. So if a Brahmana saw an aksha that he couldn't recognize, then he just guessed, He just guessed. This is why one manuscript to another manuscript, you have different words, different words there, different syllables there. So, collect all different manuscripts of it, and him knowing Panini grammar like that he knows the rules, and he figured out this is best. This edition is better. That's cool. And he said, I went through Shanikal. My wife has went through Shanikal. Then another Gujarati friend of mine in Bombay says, I went through Shanikal. My wife went through Shanikal. And my child, Yogan, is definitely going through Shanikal right now. Really bad. So Shani really kicks a lot of people in the rear. Kicks them in. His business is, and I asked Gopi Paranadhana, one of the shlokas is that Shani does, that Aranyagatikanang cha. Why would he be the goal of those that have gone to the forest? Would it be because he's giving them kicks, so it means they'll become more internal? Gopi Paranadhana said, could be, that by being kicked, be a little bit internal. It's like when things are stolen from you, then you become very, very thoughtful about it. A Vaishnava and Vaishnavi of substance thinks I only get the slaps we deserve. So if we get a slap, then why is Krishna doing this to me? There must be some reason behind it. There must be some reason behind it, It's interesting stuff. That Krishna has a reason behind it. Karmani nirdati. Any reaction will be, you're serving Krishna, will be nirdati, reduced. So any slap you get is reduced. Just like you're doing puja and you cut yourself. By karma, probably the whole finger should have been cut off. Krishna just gave you a token slap, that's all. And we should be positive, Only get the slaps we deserve, and we're not dead yet. So that is interesting. When I asked Gopi Paranadhana that question about Aranyagatikanacha, how will it be the goal of those that go to the forest? Is it because Shani kicks them in the rear, they become very thoughtful? He goes, yeah, it could be. Why does God choose extreme measures to punish people? Like a few are brutally murdered, physical tortures and injustice to women, drastic death, dangerous illness, torture to kids. It teaches people. And people also deserve it. They're only getting the karma they deserve, So Krishna's giving some more karmic reaction that they really genuinely deserve. There was a girl in Pretoria. She was from Durban area like that, and she was very bold, going anywhere and everywhere very fearlessly. And she had to go. One of her friends was getting married, so she went to Durban to try to set up the marriage. And her brother was so lazy they didn't come to the bus station to pick her up. So she went by a taxi, and the taxiwala raped her and killed her. So, one of the head guys in Pretoria, Shamasunda Das, took me to her, and I said, naturally, when that's happening to a devotee, they must be thinking of Nrsingadev, when it's happening. So she must have been liberated like that, And plus, learn, hey, wait a minute, you do need protection. Women do need protection. They should definitely not go alone. She should have definitely gone with her friends, in retrospect, with her friends, jumped in the bus, gone down with her friends or something. Going by herself and jumping in a taxi at night, a taxi at night, when her brother didn't come and pick her up, it's definitely a bad move, like that. But what is she going to do? Well, our business is to think of Krishna, There's a devotee friend of mine. I was going to a Citibank branch, and it was like 35 miles away from his place in upstate New York. And he was freaking out, and he goes, well, I'm only doing my job, dude. They'll remember Nrsingadev. He was laughing, all right, you can drive it. I'm only doing my job. To think of Krishna. So much like that. Sometimes devotees some people deserve a slap, Extreme measures to punish people, brutally murdered, physical tortures, and injustice to women. Vaisheshika Lama, for example, once he said, we can think of karma like that, but it's just sad, when people are murdered or killed or tortured like that. It's naturally sad. But, the material world is not a good place. There's a bhajan in Nirved Lakshana Upalabdhi section of Kalyan Kalpataru, Jivana Samapti Kali. And it's like 5 bhajans away from Durlava Manava Janma. Same section. So it's from there. And one Bengali boy sung that bhajan for me. It must have been, 1981, like that. Jivana Samapti Kali. And so it's a nice Kariva Bhajana Eve Kori Kriha Sukha. When I become old, I'll worship Krishna. Now I'm young, I'll enjoy my household life. Ekata nahi bole vigya jana e deha patanu mukha. Wise person does not talk like that because life is very, very fleeting. It goes away like that. Just like water running on a leaf. It's just very, very temporary. Patun mukha. Then it says, he says, if you have this nonsensical desire, then you will leave your body at the end, and you will not develop love for the Lord of the poor. If you maintain this nonsensical attitude, then it says there, at the end of 100 days, either now or after 100 years, you have to leave your body. Therefore, don't be carefree, O brother. You engage in the service of the personality, of Godhead, because this material world is not at all good. Jivanira Tiknai. This world is not good. Then it says, Samsara Nirvana Kori, Shavavan, when my household life is finished, then I'll go to Vrindavan. Rina Troy Shodhi Bari Kori Tetra Sujatana. In order to free myself from the 3 debts, I am working very hard. Eyasai Nahi Prayojana. This desire will not give you the ultimate goal of life. Emano Durbashayase Jabo Pranayavase Se Nahali Dinabandhu Charana Sevan. You maintain such a nonsensical desire, your life will depart at the end without you developing love for Dinabandhu, the Lord of the poor. Nahali Dinabandhu Charana Sevan. Kriye tako vani tako ete tarka akaran. It says whether you live in the forest or live in your house, such arguments are just don't make sense, you know. Whether you live in the forest or whether you live in your house, such arguments are just basically useless. They don't have any cause or any benefit, you know. This bhajan Jivana Shamantikali is really cool. It's about 5 bhajans later in their Nirvana Lakshana Upalabdhi, obtaining realization by the bitterness of material life. In that section, Nirvana Lakshana Upalabdhi section of Kalyan Kalpataru. Cool. It's an interesting bhajan. So this is, now another thing about it, when you see suffering, that God, Krishna is showing the naked truth of what I'm better off not doing. You know? They must have done something sinful. We're sad for them that they get it. You know? You know, if God is going, why does the small child die? You know, something like that, you know? You know, like this. It's sad, but they must have done something stupid in your previous life to deserve that, you know, to deserve the reaction. Such a heavy, simple reaction. It's interesting in the 6th canto, Bhagavatam, when all the hells are described to Parikshit Maharaj, he's very sorry that the living entity has to suffer in these abominable hells. And he asks for Srimad Goswami, is there any remedy for that? Now to test the intelligence of the king, then he's recommended Prayaschitta, reformatory practice. And Parikshit Maharaj says that doesn't work. Because I see that so many criminals, they, even though they know it's not good, they still do it. They still do it again. So reformatory practices doesn't uproot the hard knot from the heart. So Srimad Goswami congratulated Parikshit Maharaj for that, thinking like that, you know? It's interesting, like that. But why is it happening? Because they did something stupid. They deserve it. They only get the slaps we deserve. So they got some slap. We deserved it. We did something stupid. What for? Because they did something stupid. That's why. You know? Why they suffer, you know? They had torture, they got raped and killed, or, you know, like that, and the child has suffered torture to kids, drastic death, dangerous illness. We did something stupid. That's why. Why are there no ways to escape, or rather, what are the ways to get rid of the past bad deeds which I haven't seen? It states in Bhakti Visrambha Madhava that simply by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kutam Bijam Falonmukam Kramena Eva Praliyata Vishnu Bhaktir Ratatmanam. It's quoted from Padma Purana in Bhakti Visrambha Madhava, that simply by loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Kutam, seed-like formations, Bijam, that are just ready to produce the seed, Falonmukha, almost ready to produce the fruit. Hutam bijam phalomukam kramainaiva praliyata, step by step engage in the service of Krishna. Vishnu Bhakti Ratatmano. One is developed Rati for Vishnu Bhakti. What's that? So it's basically that thing, that by devotional service to Krishna you destroy those things. So devotional service is the key, but Krishna is showing the suffering because this could definitely happen. Krishna is showing the naked truth, what I shouldn't do. That's all. The devotee is thankful. Oh, Krishna is showing the naked truth. What we don't do. Like that. When God decided to create a human, why did He create a man so strong? Different from women, who has to undergo different cycles. Why not men and women were given equality at the time of creation? Women is suffering since ages in one way or the other due to her femininity. Is there any purpose? It depends. You see, like, for example, because when Indra had killed Vritrasura, then he distributed the sinful reactions of Brahmahatya to 4 different living entities. Because Indra gave the benediction to the land, then it could expand. So there's deserts. And because they gave the benediction to women that they could have sensual enjoyment at any time, therefore they have their menstrual cycle. And water, the benediction of water, that you can add it to any substance and it increases. You can't tell what is increased. Just like I had some Charanamrit that we have less. So I told one devotee in Bali, in a Kadasi program, we had less. So we had about 125 people, 120 people. So we wanted to distribute Charanamrit to them. I said, there is a saying that if you don't have any drink, add water. If you don't have any sabji, add water. If you don't have any dal, add water. Stretch it out, you know. So basically that's what we did. We just mixed water with the Charanamrit and we just stretched it out. And everybody got it, you know. It's described that why did He create a male human being that is stronger? Well, they want to dominate. Things like that. Sometimes some ladies are really intense, just like in this movie, Psycho, done by Alfred Hitchcock in the 1960s. And one of the characters in it was a child who was dominated by mother, really intense mother. And the child was living happily with the mother, but then she got another person in her life, and the child became envious of that person. Killed the mother and her lover. The end of the movie was described. And the boy kept his mother in a fruit salad and preserved her body and took over her mentality. The mentality was described by one psychoanalyst, you know, and they said, and the female would sometimes take over. The mother would sometimes completely take over the boy. And he goes, the psychiatrist said, I got that story from the mother's side of the boy. You know, like that. She completely took over. you know, took over. And the psychiatrist, by talking to her through her son, who committed sinful activities, then he learned this story. The psychiatrist learned the story. Interesting stuff. It is described at the end of it. And so he killed the girl. He said, when the psychiatrist, when he saw your sister, he was attracted to her. The mother became envious of the other girl going after the fellow. And so the son, in the form of the mother, killed the girl. Like that. And then also the same thing for the detective who came to see also. Like that. And he was going to kill one person who discovered the guy's mother in the fruit cellar. Luckily, this other person saved her, you know, by tackling the guy from behind. And they caught him and put him in the police in the slammer like that, protected that girl from dying. That was interesting. It's a very scary movie, very famous scary movie, done in the 1960s, Alfred Hitchcock. Scary movie, you know. And that shower scene when she was killed, when the girl was killed, was very famous, you know, like that. Very famous, scary thing like that. Very scary movie, you know. And scary things are kind of neat, you know. Scare the hell out of me. Yeah. It's like, wow. It's really interesting sense gratification, you know. Really interesting stuff. Scare the hell out of me. You know? Now, where do they come from? Buddhas, you know. Now, Sani started Kritanarsa with Buddha Dvaragraha Samudra Bhava Bhiti Rasa. So, if you remember Krishna, then you're free from fear, you know. It's described in 11th Canto, Chapter 2. I think it's 28. That Vayadvatiya, the duality of fear, Abhiniveshita Syad, that is manifest in the material world. Isha Vaipetasya is by forgetting Krishna. Viparayushmati, which causes opposite mentality. Although the illusion of the material world ultimately doesn't exist, it appears to be proper according to our perverted intellectual understanding. It said, Tata karma sankalpa vikalpana mana. It is the mind's business to accept and reject on the basis of sense gratification. But when a person stops seeing the world as separate from Krishna, amayam natasyad, they become free from fearlessness at that time. So, I remember once I was traveling with my deities, and they would ask, say, what are you worried about? You're with us. What are you worried about? Oh, I don't have to worry about that. Then they would also tell me, something's going to happen. What's going to happen? You know, it was in Dubai, there was a Muslim guy, this Muslim security guy, who really hated my coat. And I knew that I'm going to meet this guy, you know. Remember me? And I said, how could I forget? And I gave him a hug, and he felt my coat, and he handed me my passport. And it happened to be Dubai Shopping Festival. They give you 10 extra kilos. The guy felt my coat, and he handed me my passport and boarding pass. But I looked at my watch, you know, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning. So I make sure I go through in the nighttime, you know, and he's not going through, you know, he's not there. I go on the day shift. The chief shift is not good. I go night shift. Then they just look at your boarding pass, boom, and they look at your passport, boom, and it back and through. I understood. When Krishna Balaram gave me that heads up, I understood. Oh, I'm going to meet that guy. That Muslim guy. He gave me a hard time once before when they had Terminal 1, when the Emirates was in Terminal 1, they gave me a hard time for that. And I went through, and then I put stuff in my coat, and he didn't like it, and then I ran out, and I ran out of the business class track, and I went across the economy, and I went through the security that way. I remember that. This guy really didn't like me, like my coat. My coat I manufactured especially in Bali to put everything in there. And they're not going to dream you're going to walk in the plane with 12 kilos. And I do it all the time. 12 kilos or 20 kilos, put the kitchen sink in that coat. and I have a Russian disciple in Vrindavan, and he was going back to St. Petersburg on Aeroflot, and he had 15 extra kilos. He put it in a coat, an old coat of mine, and walked in the plane, and carried it in there all the way. No problem. They never dreamed you're going to walk in a plane with a coat with 15 kilos or something like that. You do it all the time. Not a problem. Why is there always Radha and Krishna's dads you picture together? Although Krishna never married Radha, why do he not have Krishna Rukmini together? It depends. You see, that's in Assam, they really don't like Krishna and Radha together. So in Assam, they've got Rukmini Krishna temple in Guwahati. It's just their nature like that. Some people don't like it. Now, it's mentioned about the marriage of Radha and Krishna in Brahmavarta Purana, that Jiva Goswami accepted it as Swakiya Ras. Those are the disciples who were attached to Swakiya. That Krishna's married. That may have some validity. But it's only mentioned there in Brahmavarta Purana, and not mentioned anywhere else. Could be a little dodgy. In Bandirvan, they said that Brahmaji did the marriage of Radha and Krishna in Brahmavarta Purana. And so then they donated for that under the Vad tree. But the Vad tree is where all the cowherd boys start their fun, It's only mentioned a little bit about the marriage of Radha and Krishna in Brahmavarta Purana, but no other place. No other Shastras. So the other Goswamis, they didn't really like it. Jiva gave credits to it only for those that would. But none of the other Goswamis did. We talked about Swakiya Ras, like that. And it's interesting stuff. But the cowherd boys, they start their pastimes from Bandirvan. The Pralambasura Vad Leela started there. And when Krishna swallowed the forest fire, then all the cows and the boys were free from their problem. And they were brought back by Krishna back to Bandirvan, 35 kilometers. And the boys were shocked. They said, God, we must be demigods. Our friend Krishna must be a demigod. But we're Ekajati, we're from the same community. So we must be demigods too. It's kind of interesting stuff, Bandirvan is where the fun starts. The boys wrestle. And Radha and Krishna, they were saying, hey, when you're with your friends, how do you tighten your cloth when you're going to wrestle here at Bandirvan? So Krishna tightened his cloth and showed her. Oh, we can do that. And so Radha and Lalita Vishaka, they tightened their cloth that way, and they also wrestled. And Raghunath Das Goswami says, when Radharani was wrestling with Krishna in Bandirvan, that Cupid had a field day. It's mentioned it very, very interestingly like that. Well, there's Rukmini Dwarkadish in Los Angeles. Radha and Krishna manifested as Rukmini Dwarkadish there. Opulence. The opulence of Krishna. It's like Rukmini Krishna temple in Guwahati, Assam. Like that. It's just Assamese culture. They don't like Radha and Krishna together. They like Rukmini and Krishna together. So that's what they did. They installed them that way and named them that way. It's just the way they are, their culture is, you know? Like that. In the house we kill bugs to clean. Is it ahimsa or ahimsa? We have to protect the house from these. It's like, is there any karma involved in killing the bugs on Tulsi? It's ascribed that at the time, those that are attackers at that time, they will put poison, who kill your wife, kill your family, put poison, set fire to the house. These people can be killed, and there's no sinful reaction. So, there's some, one who puts poison, one who kidnaps your wife, kills your family members. There's some 6 different aspects of attackers, you know, it's mentioned. And you have a right to defend your family, and you're not getting some reaction. So sometimes devotees are afraid. You have white flies, you have different things like that. And you're afraid about karma. Whether it's naturopathic means you're getting rid of the bugs, or naturopathic means are using a predator to eat the bugs. Predator insect to eat the bugs. Predator wasp, predator insect to eat the bugs. Or you're using chemicals. Killing is killing. You're killing them. So Prabhupada was talking about ants. The ants that Chitti, the ants, that you should not kill the ants. And he was suggesting turmeric. If the ants don't go, Tulsi will go. What can be done? So then I understood that from Tulsi Upanishad that she's transcendental to her body, ultimately speaking. This is why you really work hard to try to protect her, but still she sometimes leaves, you know? So I asked Ishanamata, she's about 50 years old, Los Angeles with her husband. And I said, can you use holly for ants? Yeah, good. I've heard that. Can you use potassium cyanide? She says, I use boric acid powder. The only way to get those guys to move on. You know? Hey, Indians may be worried about karma, but Westerners are not. You know, we're going to nuke them. We're going to get rid of those bugs, you know. We're going to get rid of those bugs, you know. Who is Subhadra in Gaura Leela? Who is Subhadra in Gaura Leela? I don't know who Subhadra Devi is in Gaura Leela. She's considered to be Mahamaya in Padma Purana. Govinda Maharaj quoted 2 slokas for Jagannath, 2 slokas for Balaram, 2 slokas for Subhadra, and 2 slokas for Sudarshan Chakra. It's quoted in Padma Purana. So it's considered that she's Mahamaya Shakti. Now, she is interesting. She appeared after Krishna killed Kamsa. You know? So she did not have the harassments and fear that Balaram and Krishna had. And like that. But, and when Arjuna stole Subhadrahara Lila in Bhagavatam, I was thinking, how is it possible that Balaram became illusion? So, here is my brother's bosom buddy. He's taken in disguise, and Balaram didn't recognize him. Like that. That this is my brother's bosom buddy. And how come I can't recognize him, It must have been Subhadra must have fogged over Balarama's eyes. She wasn't an illusion at all, who this fellow is. And then Balaram got angry, because he wanted to give Subhadra's hand to Duryodhana in marriage. But Krishna had to fall at his feet and said they were attracted to each other. And they got permission from Devaki and Vasudeva first. So Balaram was pacified and gave a big dowry, like that. Another one is also, Balaram got angry, Balaram was very fond of Duryodhana, taught him how to teach the club. And so, when at the end of the Kurukshetra battle, Balarama came and said, "This is unfair. He's more skillful than you, and you're stronger. You'll never win." Like this. But when Krishna taught Bhimasena to break the thighs of Duryodhana, then Balaram became angry that he's broken Kshatriya Dharma for breaking it. And Krishna had to fall at Balarama's feet and say, "Look, he promised to break those thighs. He made a vow to break those thighs." And all the soldiers, different soldiers on Yudhishthira's side, had the opportunity to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra. But because of Bhimasena's vow that he's going to kill all the sons of Dhritarashtra, they let them go. Let Bhima do the job, Very interesting stuff. Let Bhima do the job. How do we develop a relationship with Paramatma? How to start hearing him? It mentions in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 29, Surida Sarva Bhutana. And 1861, Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati, within the heart. Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Yantarudani Maya. Sanatya, Brahma Samhita, Sanatya, he is eternal, Nidya Sambandha, and that's the eternal relationship. Prakritascha Paraivasa, they're transcendental, part and parcel of Krishna. Transcendental material energy, part and parcel of Krishna. Prakritascha Paraivasaha. So, basically it's necessity is the mother of invention. You need it, you get it. And I have a doctor brother of mine. He's about 70 years old. And he dropped me off once at the temple and said, I consider that 5 out of 7 siblings have bipolar. What are you supposed to do with that? If you're 20, you could do something about it. We're over the hill going down. So he dropped me off at the temple, and I was thinking, if it wasn't for Tulsi Rani and the deities, where would I be? So basically that's it. You're making friends with Supreme Personality of Godhead. And see, everybody in this material world, they don't love us. They're just tolerating us. It's a trade-off. I give something to you because I get something from you. But Tulsi Rani and Krishna genuinely love us. That is extremely pacifying. And there's one shloka, 3.3.150, Bhakti Visrambha Madhava, when it's described about Ujjvala, Krishna's Priya Narmasaka, his loving effects. Radharani is describing Ujjvala's loving effects. And it's quoted, Spurta Tanu Taranga Vardhatana Upavela Sumadura Rasurupo Turgama Avara Para Jagati Yuviti Jatir Nimanaga Tramasumudras Jadyameva Haratvam Etisa Vadavinaiva. Oh, Killer Bagasura, you've expanded your loving affairs so much that you can be considered to be just like the ocean without limitation. And all the girls in the world searching for the perfect love are like rivers flowing into the ocean. Under the circumstances, all these rivers of the young girls may try to change their course to flow another direction. Ultimately, they have to flow into you. So I like that shloka. And I told Adi Purusha, the Mahanta in VIH Vrindavan, Adi, this is big. See, this is before Bhanu Swami translated shloka by shloka. So we went down Vrindavan from the Harinam Press, and we got it out of their book. We found it. And the understanding was, there were two. The brahmacharis, they understand that every living entity is Prakriti. Krishna is the only man. And Krishna could only satisfy the living entities. And Prema Bhakti Visrambha Madhava glorifies Krishna Balaram as Surata Pravina, expert in loving affairs. So only Krishna Tattva can take care of the girls. So you can let all of them run to Krishna. Because only Krishna Tattva can take care of the girls. And whatever a husband gives is not enough. Never enough materially. It was interesting. In 6th canto, chapter 19, verse number 42, Kashyapa Muni, see his wife Diti has asked for a child who could kill Indra. So he's thinking, God, it's not good for her, good for the universe. She's not to be criticized because it's a woman's nature to want vengeance. But I'm to be criticized because I could not control my senses. Then, sloka 42, let's start at 41. 42 says, Sharada Padmotsavam Bhaktram, the face is beautiful as a blossoming lotus flower in the autumn season. Vachascha Shavanamratam, speech is very pleasing to hear. Hridaya Ksuradara Bam, the heart is as sharp as a razor. Strina Koveda Chesatam, in the circumstances, who can understand the mind of a woman? So then when I read that in 1984, I thought, my God, he's married to 13 obnoxious daughters. Nobody could even dream of getting a wife like that. And if he says, Strina Koveda Chesatam, who can understand women? We have to say, I give up, you know. Basically, oil and water, you can shake them together, they're together, but they're separate. They have different natures. They would never get along. But sometimes you really get Krishna a lot from your spouse. So you really appreciate it. This person is really special because they gave Krishna in a very nice way to me. And you're always grateful for that. Example was Prabhupada's sister, Bhishma. In 1980, when she left her body in Mayapur, then Jayabhataka Maharishi and Bhavananda was giving eulogies about her. And they mentioned that she was married to a drunkard, a meat eater, and a womanizer, Bengali Bunny. And he says, look, my father got me married to this fellow. What am I supposed to do? She asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, remember in our childhood we worshipped Radha Govinda deity. Just offer everything to them and just tolerate. Just offer everything to them. So she did that, and she changed the heart of her husband gradually, over time. And at the end of his life, he was following her instructions more better, stronger, and appreciating her contribution to his character development. So it was very interesting. By just a little affection and chastity, you just keep on plugging away, and they change the heart of somebody. It was cool. He mentioned about her like that. It was really good. So basically, it's necessity is the mother of invention. You need it, you get it. And he says in Gita, he's not lying. Now, the coward boys will never accept that. How is our best friend a liar? They said he promised to come back. He didn't come back in Bhagavatam, but he came back in Padma. Padma Purana described that he killed Dantavakra. He came from Dwarka and killed Dantavakra and went outside of Mathura. And he went into Vrindavan, stayed for 2 months, and closed up shop. So he did come back. Krishna's not a liar. He'll fulfill his desire, fulfill his promise. I was asking my son, how was Krishna a liar? He's a cheater. Okay. And he doesn't surrender to the gopis enough. Okay. Fascinating. All right. That's understandable. Like that, but he's not a liar. The coward way to make our best friend's a liar. Never accept that. Our best friend's a liar. They'll never accept it. Our best friend's a liar. Yeah, sure. They'll never accept it. Now, is it real or mental concoction? We have three types of check and balance. There's Guru Pramanam, Sadhu Pramanam, and Shastra Pramanam. Shastra Pramanam is first. And Guru Pramanam and Sadhu Pramanam helps you understand Shastra Pramanam. So if you can see in anything, if you can see Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya in something, then you know that Krishna is giving it to you. You know? Krishna is helping it to you. Even sometimes that Kairbis, they're giving good stuff. If you can see Shastra and Guru and Sadhu in it, then it's good for you. You can discriminate, you can take it. And if not, it's manasojati, mental speculation. Born of the mind, manasojati. This is how it is. How you can accept it. How to learn to follow what we do here. By making a mistake, because Krishna is not going to interfere with the independence of the living entity. So when we step on our shoelaces and fall on our face, then we understand. I told you, you should listen. You make a mistake, then you understand. You know, maybe you listen to somebody. When you're getting this intuition of the heart, if something appears to be weird, maybe it is. We should consider it like that. But you don't have to worry about stuff, you know. There's danger in every step. Padam padam yopi padam nitesham. There's danger in every step. So this danger is always there. And if you have Krishna, then you don't have to worry about it. Like that. You don't have to be anxiety about things. Anxiety it happens in the material world. Bhuta, Jvara, Graha. Bhuta, living entities, ghost. Jvara, fever. Graha, malefic planets. Samudbhava, obstacles. Bidhinasham. By remembering the Supreme Lord, you become purified. And you're free of the fear of those things, you know. This was written by Shanishchara, who kicks everybody in the rear. This is Shloka 11. Enlightened. He kicks everybody in the rear. And at the end, Sringadev said, I'm very pleased, Shani, with this offering. Please ask for something that'll be good for the world. And Shani says, my dear Lord, if you're pleased with my offering, anybody who chants this stotra will become free of fear of me and develop love for you. And Sringadev said, Tatostu. He said, anybody who chants this stotra on Shanivar, Saturday, or then I'll free them from that. It's heavy stuff. The whole period of Shani is like 2.5 years. Heavy period, you know. Dvarsha Ashtanama, something like that, the Lord said. You'll be free of that fear. That's the main period. There's a main period and there's a sub-period also. And Shani really messes everybody up. Therefore, when I saw it, I asked a friend of mine, a Gujarati friend of mine, I said, that girl that just, she's afflicted by Shani. You have to give her this. But, see, it's there in Russian and it's there in English. But I was shocked. I couldn't find it in Gujarati. So we did it. But it took them a long time because they've got priorities. And I was telling one lady, come on, what happened? If it was your kids, you would have done it. But she went through Shanikal, her husband went through Shanikal. And they're not compassionate. It happens sometimes. What can be done? And then the other Gujarati person who dabbles, is a homeopath who dabbles in astrology. He said, I went through Shanikal, my wife went through Shanikal, and my child is definitely going through Shanikal right now. Definitely. So it's pretty good. His mother translated it slowly. Really slow. It took years before she finished it. Finally she did, but it took years before it got it done. Then I threw it to that Gujarati friend of mine, the Sanskrit pundit, and he looked at it and goes, some bugs are there. And he fixed up the bugs later on. In the translation, in fact, that she did, you know, fixed up the bugs. He goes, before you pass it up. Then, because he was taking too long, took weeks, when are we going to get it, when are we going to get it, when are we going to get it? I gave it to my good trading friends anyway. Then he acted, he fixed it up and gave it to them. It took a bit, It took him a bit. Is evolution true or not? It's true. Living entities have particular bodies. Has particular bodies. Bhagavatam states. The principle, Prabhupada said, is not true. Like there's impersonalistic scientific reasoning about Big Bang Theory and the whole Jamila. That's not. That we didn't have anything like that. But there's different living entities that take different bodies and they progress. Different living entities progress in different bodies and they go forward. 8,400,000 species of life described in Padma Purana. Yeah, so that happens. Living entity takes different bodies and goes forward. That's not a problem. Taking bodies and going forward. How to develop taste for the holy name. Those who got it. Namad Maharapasaya, 7th Canto, chapter 15, verse 23. You have Samaritans, serve a great soul. Develop taste. It's described in Antya 3:100 of the purport. Prabhupada says to chant in front of Tulsi Rani. You'll make great spiritual advancement. So one should not lose this opportunity. And Haridas Thakur told his disciple Krishnadasi in Benapole and Haridaspur border. It's Bangladesh India border, separated by river. So Krishnadasi was staying in a cave on the other side. Haridas Thakur gave it to her and went, And he got news about his disciples Bhajan living across the river on the other side, India side. See, this way people will not talk that this Baba is associating with this female. They won't talk like that. So he told her in Shloka 137, Nirantara Nam Lao, chant Krishna's name constantly, Kara, do, or Kara with your hand, Tulasi Sevan, serve Tulsi with your hands, Acharya Pavitava Krishna Charana, very quickly you'll get Krishna's lotus feet. In 141 it described what she did. Tulsi Sevan Kari, she served Tulsi Sevan, she served Tulsi Devi. Charvaka, she threw whatever we could. And Madhukari, sometimes she had extra rounds to chant, and she didn't have time to do Madhukari. Upavas, fasted. Indriya Tamano Hoilo Premara Prakash, when the senses became controlled, symptoms of love of God had appeared on her body. Well, that's cool. That's what we're here for. But Krishnadasi, she was special. She chanted 3 lakhs. Adi Babri. 1 lakh is amazing. 2 is Antidurlabh, really difficult. And 3 lakhs is Chamatkar, astonishing. It basically means, even 1 lakh for many people means give up your sleep. You try to chant 1 lakh on Janmashtami or something like that. On Ekadasi Janmashtami, you just chant 1 lakh and now just try to understand it. Man, it's a lot. Chanting 8 hours constant chanting, man, it's a lot. It's not a joke. So, I couldn't, it's described about her profession before she became a devotee. And it's described in Bengali that, but I can't read that. She is a superior. Come on, she's chanted 3 lakhs, much more than us, So she's a superior, and because Parama Mahanti, she became a great personality, and many great personalities came and took association with her. Prabhupada said that she became a great personality, and many people came. You don't associate with low-class ladies like that. She became really good. So it says like that, but I just can't bring myself to read the translation of the word of what she previously, her occupational duty. She's my superior. She's chanting 3 lakhs. She's chanting much better than us. We got no rights to call her by her previous occupational duty. We got no rights to that. But that's interesting stuff. 141, what she did, that is far out. So. Another thing about it is that no matter what you want, in Tulsi Kavacham, which is in the mode of passion, it's part of the 6 Puranas in the mode of passion. Everything from Brahman. So Brahmanda Purana, Tulsi Kavacham was part of Brahmanda Purana. Now it's separate. So, but he told his son Skanda that it doesn't matter what you want, you can get it from her. So material spiritual, you can get it from Tulsi. Just associate with her and ask her, like that. There was a devotee, friend of mine, software developer in Central Europe, because Sloka 17 says, Sri Kamo Vishnu Gehecha. If you want money, then chant this stotram in Vishnu's temple. So he says, I was chanting it in my puja room for 40 days, hoping to get money to maintain my family so I can serve sadhus. But I didn't get it. And I said, maybe you got to beg a little more. You got to look internally, beg a little more. Maybe they'll give it to you piecemeal. Because if they give it all at once and you stop begging, it won't be good. So maybe they'll give it to you piecemeal, like that. Tulasi Tvam Prasida Babe. She's pleased. It's like, I have different shloka that I've been asking her. And Vidyaya Vedavadinam, it says in Tulsi Kavacham that in the Falashruta that if you want knowledge, she'll give knowledge. She can give it. When can you give it, mother? When I want to give it, I'll give it. But she hasn't given it yet. It just means when she wants to give it, she'll give it, I'll pass it out to the world, of course, mother, But she hasn't given it yet. When she's pleased, she'll give it. She'll drop it in your lap. You can't demand. Give it now, You can't do it. When she's ready, she'll give it to you, It was interesting in Gayatri Mantartha Tipika. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti says, I shouldn't be saying it, but it is. It's 24 and a half moons. So he goes, but I count 25 syllables. The Krishnas must not be wrong. Then Radharani came in his heart at 11 o'clock at night. What is the use of my vow? He was going to give up his body and fast in Radhakund at 11 o'clock p.m. And Radharani doesn't like it when her servants do that. So she came in the heart, she told him the rule, and told him where to get it. He said that when a consonant is followed by a vowel, it is considered a half syllable. And the rule is in this book, this Vyakarna, this grammar book. Now at 6:30 in the morning, you go in the library, you'll see that Vyakarna book. And Krishnadas use that to write that particular point. Now, give up your lamentation and fasting now. She insisted, 11 o'clock p.m. She's insisting, give up your lamentation and fasting now. She told him the rule and told him where to find it. In the Brahmanas, where to find it. And she insisted, now give up your lamentation and fasting now. That is interesting things. So I'm thinking, why would Radha give that to us like that? She goes, when will you become sincere? I don't know. Everybody is better than some and worse than others. You, me, and everybody. We're better than some people and worse than other people. Like that. But she keeps saying, she'll give it, she'll give it, she'll give it. When? When she's pleased, she'll give it. You can't say, give it now. When she's pleased, she'll give it. How to tolerate lust? I have a disciple who's badgering me about this, and I says, come on, look, even the householders, they have to tolerate it. Now, quantify your lust. You have a child or something like that. Really expensive, paying the bills. It's a lifetime job. like this. One householder in the Latchwood told me, he says, I'm 53 and my mother's 85 and I'm still paying her parking. It's like, your child is your child forever, And you can, and I have a godbrother, Balavanta, who was my protector in 73. And he's a father figure, And you could be 57 years old, he's still your father. What the hell's going on, It's just the way it is, He has that abundant relationship with you. And you just got to accept it. This person's my father, End of the story, And if somebody's your father figure, like that, they're going to have that relationship with you for the rest of your life. You just have to accept it. It's just part of your relationship, And you have to accept it. It's a father figure, Father figure, mother figure. There was a comedian in America, W.C. Fields, left his body in 76. And his comedy routine was spoofing kids and small dogs all the time. So we love these kids when they're asleep. We love these kids in the summer camp, in school, with the grandparents, like that. Somewhere else in the next universe, married off, We love these kids. And one pretty sensible, go away, sonny, you bother me. I think you hear your mother calling. I like these kids. Fried and salted, Really heavy cat. And the best dogs, he said, are the flat ones on the highway. They're the best. And then one person, he said, anybody that didn't like small dogs and kids can't be all that bad. Pretty funny guy. He was a nice householder. He took care of his wife and his kid all right, He was a funny guy. If anybody wanted to see him, he would hide behind bushes in Los Angeles and shoot them with a BB gun. Funny guy. Really liked his privacy. Didn't want to be bothered by anybody. Funny guy, How to tolerate less? We have to tolerate. Comes to take shots from Bargain, we have to tolerate. Do you have ability to pay the bills? We have to tolerate it. There was one interesting letter that Prabhupada wrote to one brahmachari who was sitting on the fence and said, look, are you ready to pay for bangles, saris, and sex? There was a Radha Damodar party. Whenever anybody wanted to get married, they listened to a tape. It's no longer available now. And my godbrother Vishal, he's like 72 in Miami. So he's having a room conversation in Los Angeles, Prabhupada. Vishal Prabhu, when are you thinking of going back to India? I'm thinking of going back in May. Oh, that's nice. I was thinking, Srila Prabhupada, oh, don't do that. I was thinking if I became a householder, I would be better situated. So there's 30 seconds of silence. And he goes, I tell you won't be happy. Then he goes, I think it'd be more realistic, I'd be more straightforward. 30 seconds later, I tell you won't be happy. So Vishal goes, well, suppose I did get married, will I still get your mercy? Prabhupada goes, my mercy is you don't get married. Then I asked Vishal, because he's 72 in Miami, was Prabhupada right? Yeah. Takes one to know one. Yeah, I'm sure. I suffered like a dog. Yeah, of course he was right, It takes one to know one. Vishal was really sentimental. And when Krishna Balaram Mandir in 75, he goes, oh, glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at him and goes, why don't you do something practical? Had a very interesting relationship with Vishal. Very interesting. Vishal is a heavy cat. Vishal is a very heavy devotee. Back to Godhead, you had him for making subscriptions or something, and he would badger you until you got a subscription. He wouldn't let you go. He was like really intense. Vishal was like super intense guy. Vishal is, everybody has to tolerate it. Sheesh, And you have a couple of kids, and a couple of screaming kids. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, you have a couple of screaming kids, and definitely definitely your lust will definitely be pacified, like that. You understand that ultimately Krishna's only the husband. Krishna can maintain people, like that. Krishna can only maintain people. And also, when you see if the kids are bad, then you develop vairagya, detachment. You have to develop it. When the grandchildren are trash, things are very expensive, then they give up their body happily, with no problems. At 80 years old or whatever, they give up their body happily. Unless Jack LaLanne left his body in his sleep at 96. And a journalist asked him at 95, "What are you thinking about death?" He goes, "Bad for my profile, At the age of 80 years old, he pulled 2 boats full of people underneath the San Francisco Bay Bridge. The guy was a monster, muscular monster, The guy was intense, 2 boats full of people underneath the San Francisco Bay Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge, like that. Wow. At the age of 80 years old, underwater. Interesting stuff. If the kid is good, the parents are shinier. If the kid is good, the parents are shinier. We want to see them. Wow. Who are the parents? I was giving second initiation to one devotee, and the Jyotish in Vrindavan told me that what his parents gave him, the name his parents gave him 30 years ago, was correct. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was a good Jyotish also. Sometimes he put Das or Dasi at the end of it and just left it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So this Damodar Jyotish in Vrindavan showed me that in an astrological chart, what his parents gave was correct. I never met his father. I need to meet his mother, but I never did. I haven't yet. But he was laughing and describing me an astrological chart why what his parents gave was correct. So I just put Madhan Gopal Das on it, first initiation, and then later on when I gave him second initiation, like that. And I was really thinking, wow, we really have to see your parents. And I kept trying to encourage him to see the parents, but his mother's in Melbourne, Australia, and I don't know. I don't know if I will see them. Maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows? It depends on Krishna's will. If the child is good, the parents are shinier. Like that. How do you have firm faith in God, both good and bad times? We tend to forget or not thank Him during good times and blame Him for bad times. You can't blame Krishna for bad times, You can't blame Krishna for bad times. Everything is emanating from Him. And it was a very funny story. That in Bhaktisiddhanta Babaji Mahasai, in 1921, he used to leave his kuti in Navadvip unlocked all the time. So some chore came and stole Gordantai's pots. Wait, not a blade of grass moves without you. How could you allow a thief to steal your stuff? You want to fast? All right, we'll fast. So the Nityananda Prabhu became compassionate. Why my bhakta will fast? So he told his thief, bring back the pot. Nityananda's pot has come, so now he'll eat, but you must not give it to him. And Gauranga laughed and told his thief, bring back the pot. Gauranga's pot has come, so now he'll eat. Interesting story. How could you do this? Not a blade of grass moves without you. How could you allow a thief to steal your stuff? Chastising Gordantai, Another story was very funny about it. In Bangladesh, he saw some Sri Vaishnava, and Bhaktisiddhanta, his deities were like dressed up in rags and in a basket like that. And he goes, who is this? And he goes, this is the chief of thieves of Navadvip. This one is the best of avadutas. You know, who's going to refer to their deities like that? Is Narayan here? Well, he was yesterday, but I don't know about today. You know, Bhaktisiddhas was far out in so many ways, you know. He would cook for his Gopal and goes, last Janmashtami, you got sweet rice. This Janmashtami, you get mango, you know. And there was a high school teacher, Chaudhry. 11 o'clock at night, Krishna came in his heart and says, go in the bazaar to get mango. So he went and found some dukkha that was open. 11 o'clock at night, and he got mango. And Bhaktisiddhas says, Gopal, mango's coming, mango's coming. Mango's coming in Janmashtami. Interesting story. And at one point, the servants of Bhaktisiddhas Babaji was sending remnants to different people. And Radharaman Gera Goswami has asked for it once because he was shaking a stick at somebody and said, there is a goat in Gopinath, Radha Gopinath temple that wants to chew in the tulsi. So I'm trying to scare away that goat. And he was bending with a stick. And so the servants of Bhaktisiddhas sent a telegram from Bengal all the way to Vrindavan and found out that indeed that happened. And they said, hey, you get remnants from that sadhu, sadhu does. You know, they don't care how old it is when they got it, you know, whatever it is. And the servants of Bhaktisiddhas would stay with him just to do that. Just to get, and he would eat only what he cooked for his Gopal. And he would take an offer. Weird times. You've flown from my hand, and your belly is full with Kendragur sweet rice. Now Kendragur, date sugar, is a very dear thing that the Bengalis offer Krishna. And how do you know that somebody brought date sugar from Bengal to give Radharaman in Vrindavan, you know? He said, hey, any remnants that we have for this? I don't send it. So he packaged up and sent it to Radharaman Gera and other places like that, just to get his prasadam. Interesting stuff. You have to have firm faith in God by practice. By practice. You know, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not force. It's like it was very funny that Sanatan Pad, living in Chakaleshwar, doing Govardhan Parikrama, Krishna was telling Sanatan Pad, oh, you're an old man. Why should you take so much trouble? Just go around my Shila 7 times. But Sanatan Pad ignored Krishna. Sometimes devotees ignore Krishna, like that for good reasons, like that, for some reasons like that. Krishna won't force. Krishna won't force you. He's suggesting, that's all. You know, Krishna's not going to force. His nature is not to force. Now, this bhakti has to be voluntarily. Voluntarily you have to love and do something, you know. Voluntarily you have to love and do something. But there was a story in Brihad Bhagavatamrita where he forced Gopal Kumar to become his devotee. So sometimes Krishna does force, but generally speaking, no. You know, he wants devotion to come out naturally. They're not going to force. Sometimes they do, you know. You have to have some friend. You have to have some friend who will help you with this. And the thing of this is that you have to take shelter of somebody. You have to listen to somebody. You know? And Krishna may tell you, but the thing about it is he's not going to push you, you know. You have your independence. He's not going to push you. He's not going to demand, you know. He's suggesting, that's all. It's and by practice you understand, hey, if I put my foot in my mouth and I don't do it, then I suffer. And if I follow, then I don't suffer. You know, it's like that. By practice you understand, hey, I'm better off if I listen. I'm better off if I listen. And by Shastra Guru and Sadhu Pramanam, by Shastra Pramanam and Sadhu Guru Vakya, you do check and balance to test it. Is it real? But after practice, after some time, whatever they say, you just follow it. And you analyze it later. Sometimes you analyze it at the same time when you're doing it, like this. It was cool. It's very difficult to get a Govardhan Shila. That's white, crystal and Govardhan. Very difficult. And the same size as your Krishna, but slightly bigger. Wait a minute. So, I've had Balaram for like 20 years. And I doubted, is he a real Govardhan Shila? He came in there and says, look, in Bob's Seva, you could worship me. In any way. But relax. I'm a Govardhan Shila. But just, like that. It was very interesting, We tend to forget or not thank him during good times and blame him for bad times, If you have a relationship with Krishna, you blame him, But he's sweet. How can you blame him, like that? And forgetting is just natural conditioned life, And how do we remember? By the kicks. By the kicks, we remember, hey, I'm better off if I remember, and I'm worse off if I forget. It's like that. When Hiranyakashipu gave sympathy and talked about soul signs to his relatives, then why was he against Lord Vishnu and the demigods? See, the thing is this, that even a demon in the Vedic culture, when you compare it to today, they're probably better than us. They're probably got more morals than us. But we have to think. See, they are against Vishnu, and they want sense gratification. But we want sense gratification in a good way. Which is probably better than us in Kali Yuga. So we should have respect for the demons. Another thing is that Prabhupada was saying, either you become a big demon or you become a devotee. Now, the thing is this, that Durga Chati iti Durga, you cannot cross over that lady. She's known as Durga. Prabhupada said, Krishna doesn't have to come in now. If they want, so many Bangladeshi fishermen can be wiped out by one hurricane, by one cyclone. If Durga wants to kill demons, he can easily do it. Break the demons. Or one pyroclastic flow from a volcano, or whatever. So many demons can be roasted, like that, and killed. It's not difficult for Durga to do that, or kill some demons. It's not difficult for Durga to do that at all, So Krishna doesn't have to do it directly, It is better to engage people in Tulsi Rani service. She's sweeter than Krishna and more easily accessible than Krishna. And just get people to assist somehow or another. By loving her and serving her, they'll become good. Now, we also found the Sanskrit from Vishnu Dharmotra that you could put Tulsi neck beads on anybody. Drunkard, chicken tikkawala, anybody. You could offer to the deity, put it. Asocham, Vishnu Dharmotra, they're not clean. Anacharo, they're condemnable. Mamaviti, they'll achieve me eventually. Now samsaya, don't doubt it. Let's have a doubt. Okay. What about, the last 8 days before my mother, grandfather, who eats meat or drinks liquor the last 8 days of their life? Like that. Now, what happens if your relative dies of a massive heart attack and you're kicking yourself on your teeth? Therefore, put offered neck beads on the necks of your relatives yesterday. There was an arborist that said, what season is a good season to plant a fruit tree? And he went, last season. Sigram. In the Shubhashita, Sigram means immediate, but Sigram also means yesterday. We should have done it before. Why was he against Lord Vishnu and demigods? It was part of the drama. He was actually Jai Vijay, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu, they're also chai. They did that in order to get their job back quick. 3 births as demons, or 7 births as a devotee. He wanted to get back to his service in Vaikuntha, so they became demons. It's just a drama, nah. It's just an example. Krishna's going to fight with his devotee. He's not going to fight with them. So Hiranyakasipu and Hiranyaksha were not bad in some sense, in some senses. But they really wanted to get back to their service fast. So he became a demon. That's not so big deal. We originally came from the spiritual world. In the Shastras it says that once we go back to the spiritual world, we don't come back to the material world. And there's a book, Oops, our original position. Dinabandhu and Pundarik Das and Vrindavan, oops, I made a mistake, oops, So they give an example of Tulsi Rani manifesting in the material world as an example of the jiva falling down. We can't accept that, like that. We couldn't accept that Tulsi Rani's manifestation. Like that as an example of the jiva falling down into the world. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in 7th shloka of Vrinadevi Astakam says, Tadaiva murtis tulasindri loke. In the world of man, your form is the Tulsi tree. Vrinadevi, Tulsi Rani, same thing, And she is the organizer of Krishna's pastimes. There's 2 girls, Purnamasi Devi and Vrindadevi are together like anything. And there's no pastime that is not done without knowing. So, Abhimanyu wanted to take, in Gauri Tirtha Vihara, it's described in Vidagdha Madhava Natakam chapter 7, wanted to take Krishna, Radharani to Mathura. And he went to Purnamasi Devi to get blessings. Take Vrishabhadranandini to Mathura. Think nothing of it. But he was determined. And then Purnamasi says, Vrinda, you better tell Krishna. So Vrindadevi saw Krishna in Gauri Tirtha Vihara area with Padma Shaibya, 2 gopi friends of Chandravali. So Vrindadevi gave the news to Krishna. This is serious. We have to stop this. I want a cloth to imitate Gauri Devi. And she has a white cloth with a golden border. And Madhumama says, I saw Padma's gopi with that cloth. Excellent, I'll use that cloth. Vrinda, you become my servant, my sister. She shook her head, yes. Rupa Goswami says. So it says that in the temple of Gauri Devi, then the Kunja Vidya is situated making a earring out of a peacock feather. And Abhimanyu went there and says, look, there's Tanvantika, who dances nice, Krishna's peacock. That black snake Krishna must be somewhere. No, it's only my sister, the goddess of Bandhirvan. That's all. Peacock must have been asleep, Krishna went away. It's only my sister, the goddess of Bandhirvan. Padman Shaibi goes, who was her? You don't know my sister, the goddess of Bandhirvan? Oh, we've never seen her before. Means Krishna's disguise is good. Now, I asked, look, Krishna is Shyama-sundar and Gauri is white. So how did Krishna cover up his black form? And Matsyavatar says, it doesn't describe how he did it. He just says he was successful in it pastime. Like that. He didn't describe the details how he did it. Kokum or Chandan or something, how did Krishna cover it up? Because that is interesting. He just mentioned that he did it. So, Vrindadevi goes, you don't know my sister Padma, the Kunja Vidya, the goddess of Bandhirvan? No, I've never seen her before. It means Krishna's disguise is pretty good. So Krishna said, well, my disguise is pretty good. So Radha's offering prayers, oh goddess, please be merciful. That which you're seeking is not possible. Why? Jatila goes, why? Tell her, Vrinda. Vrinda goes, 2 days from today, comes and will grab Abhimanyu's head and cut it off and give it to Bhairava. Oh, Radha, this should not be done. Oh, God has pleased me merciful. I can't live without my Swami. Typical double language for Radharani. Oh, it's generally not possible, but her sweet speeches captivated me in so many ways. It may be possible under certain circumstances. Anything, Jyotila goes. She should always come and worship me. Yes, she'll come here every day and worship you. And you should cancel the plans to go to Mathura. We'll cancel the plans to go to Mathura. Then I give my benediction. Then Jyotila goes, Radha, you saved Abhimanyu. And Krishna said, Gauri said, oh, why cast aspersions on the character of this girl? Come on, we'll cancel the plans to go to Mathura. So Jyotila and Abhimanyu and Radharani leave the temple. And Purnamasi Devi enters and goes, Nanda, seeing you in this form has given the devotees great bliss. What can I do for you, Bhagavati? Was always perform pastimes with Radha and Vrindavan. Whoever hears this pastime will develop love for you, the right couple. Tatastu! Very interesting pastime in Bhakti Visrambha Madhava, chapter 7. And it's very interesting, And Vrinda Devi was part of it. She's very interesting stuff. And there's also another interesting pastime. It's mentioned in Govinda Lalamrita, chapter 9. And Raghunath Das, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami mentions it in Radha Krishna Ujjvala Kusuma Keli Leela. I made a stained glass panel in it. And Radharani goes, it's a standard Dan Keli Leela going on, You girls are breaking the flowers. Kamadeva said to me, you got to be taxed. And he says, look, how does this Vrindavan belong to you? It belongs to Vrinda Devi, she gave it to us. So Krishna says, Vrinda Devi is more beautiful than many thousands of goddess of fortune is my chaste wife. If you don't believe it, you can ask her. Now the Dharma Shastras say whatever belongs to the wife belongs to the husband. When you say Vrinda, it means us too. So Radha goes, Vrinda, is this true? Have you married this fellow? If you were married this fellow, then you would blush red and run away from here. And Vrinda goes, meaning Jude, Krishna's line, And Vrinda goes, oh Radha, why you talk like that? The whole beauty of Vrindavan force is nothing but expansion of the beauty of your lips. And Vrinda Devi glorifies Radharani with 10 slokas. Radharani completely forgets her anger. When I read that, I thought, Vrinda Devi is a diplomat. She's not going to be flustered. She's not going to be pushed to anybody. She's not going to be pushed around by anybody. She's not going to be flustered. She's very calm, cool, collect, smart girl. Smart, diplomatic. Completely diplomatic. She's not going to take sides. She won't take sides. It was very funny in Dan Kili Komodi, translated by Nityananda Das for the DPT. He sent me this snippet from the book. And the gopis are on Vrinda's case. They wanted to take sides, but she refused to take sides. They said, what is your opinion about tax collectors? Well, any girl from a good family should have nothing to do with tax collectors. Like that. The gopis are on her case. They got to give something to this tax collector. Now, Vrinda's claiming to be one of us, but actually she's squarely in Krishna's camp. Let's give her as the donation. So Krishna saw to that and says, Lord Vishnu has already enjoyed her. Give it to the girl. And Radha says, if a girl is beautiful and attainable but cannot be attained by a man, you must be a celibate horse. Horses are celibate as long as they stay away from the mares, Kind of funny. And I was at, well, what does Dan Keli Chintamani said? And then says, it's a whole different poetry. It's a whole different book. Dan Keli Komedi is more drama, more flashy and more funny. It's Rupa Goswami's style, and Raghunath has got a different style. The same pastime is not mentioned in Dan Keli Chintamani, Interesting stuff like that. It'll probably come out next Kartik or something like that. Dan Keli Komedi, like that. Pretty interesting. And the gopis are all on Vrinda's case. They want her to take sides, and she's not. She likes Radha, she likes Krishna, she's not going to be flustered, not going to be pushed by anybody, she's not going to take sides. She's really diplomatic. She's very diplomatic lady. Very smart, very diplomatic. In Radha Asatara Stotra, Shloka 55, it said, Talosi Adhistatri Devi. Matsya Avatar translated Adhistatri as the mistress of Tulsi. And Shloka 105 said, Tulsi Toshika. Radharani's qualities please Tulsi. Now, you may not like your boss. Don't ask me, I just work here. But Tulsi likes her boss. She likes Radharani, likes her boss. That's interesting stuff, you know. Tulsi likes her boss. That's pretty cool. Hey, yeah, we got two more here. If we don't have Tulsi plant, can we still associate with her, buy her picture, and obtain similar results? Somebody asked me this question before once, and I asked, now will a lady be satisfied with a picture of a child and she want a real one? Well, if she has a lot of kids, maybe a photo is enough for her, you know. Basically, pictures don't do the same. There was a guy in Wales. He asked this question, and I go, are you a traveling salesman? Yeah. Turns out he was. I said, put your Tulsi in the restaurant. Take a photograph of your Tulsi, put it on your car, and come and visit your Tulsi. So, but if you're not, don't be lazy. You know, they're worshiping a photograph. Don't be lazy. You know, photographs are not bad sometimes. There's a preaching center in Manchester, UK. It's just a Sunday feast temple, so nobody stays there the rest of the week. So they got pictures of everybody. You know, there's nobody. You know, if you have like that, nobody take care of Tulsi, nobody do the worship. Pictures are fine. You know, like that. Pictures are fine. Sunday feast temple. You know. Or this guy was a traveling salesman. Fine, you're a traveling salesman. Put your Tulsi in the restaurant and come back, take a photograph and come back and visit your Tulsi. it's so, you know, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Get off your rear and serve her, you know. You know, it's like everybody wants something cheap and free, you know. But you have to work for it. You have to work for it. If something is good, you have to work for it, you know? Work for her. Sweat for her. And 50% take shelter. If they're not ready to do that, they'll hardly know who she is. You have to work for her. Like that. Offer her to Krishna and assisting in her service of offering herself to Krishna. And then she'll give herself to you. So, we should not want something so cheap for nothing, you know. You have to work for it. Get off your rear and grow her and serve her and collect all the manjaris and serve her and offer her to Krishna, you know. That. Another interesting thing. They say you shouldn't collect Tulsi with your teeth. That's what they say. But I didn't find any Sanskrit there, and I got 6 that you can. Like that. And Gorkeshava, Australian Mahanta Pujari friend of mine, goes, it's not logical. You can eat the Mahaprasad sabji and you can't chew Tulsi with your teeth? Come on. It's not logical. It's pretty good. Last question. Can you please explain the age differences between Krishna and the gopis? The gopis are quite a bit older. One gopi, famous Lita, hot. She's actually 27 years old. She's old. She's hot. Like that. Some of the gopis are. Lita's hot. She's a hot girl. Heavy. Hot girl. Radharani would sometimes be with Krishna, and you know, they would change chadars. like that. You know, and then Radharani is like stumbling, you know. And Jatila goes, "Where did you get this yellow chutney?" Huh? Lalita goes, "Oh, you old lady, you know, blind. You can't see by the sun that it's blue?" Maybe. And Radharani has to thanks Lalita for protecting her like that. Another one, when Mother Yasoda wakes up Krishna in the morning, "Oh, don't wake up. Hey, what are you doing? Balaram is chadar." Krishna goes, "Huh?" He's got his blue chadar. And at time of breakfast, then Dhanishta Gopi swaps it. The yellow one that swaps it, Radha Krishna's chadar, and they swap it back. And they, Mother Yasoda goes, "What are you doing? Balaram is chadar." "Huh?" Krishna goes, "Huh?" What? Very interesting story, you know. What are you doing with Balarama's children? Happens all the time. And in Ujjvala Nilamani, it's stated that you can tell what they want by the color of their cloth. Now, Radha and Balaram both wear blue because it reminds them of Krishna. And Krishna wears yellow because it reminds him of Radha. Interesting. There's Krishna Balaram deities in Sewa Kunj in Vrindavan. And when I saw them, took darshan of them, then Balaram was Shyam Sundar. And I said, "Hey, don't you have the deities mixed up?" And he said, "No. Balaram is blackish." Well, Krishna Chaitanya Vaisena, Yasya Kanti Vilobita. He's constantly thinking of Krishna, so Krishna's color has overwhelmed his. And Krishna's golden. Well, Radha Chaitanya Vaisena, Yasya Kanti Vilobita. He's always thinking of Radharani, so her colors overwhelm his. Interesting. These are Krishna Balaram deities in Sewa Kunj. Very interesting. Interesting deities. So when I saw them, I asked about that. I asked Shamasundar, he's now Madhusudan Maharaj, about it. And he described it. Well, Krishna Chaitanya Vaisena, Yasya Kanti Vilobita. There's always an anxiety for Krishna, so Krishna's darkness is overformed as whiteness. And Krishna's golden? Well, Radha Chaitanya Vaisena, Yasya Kanti Vilobita. He's always thinking of Radharani, so her color has overwhelmed his. Oh, interesting. All right, it's time for Parikrama. Let's do Parikrama with Kirtan.